Home. In 10 years, everything changes. Yet nothing has really changed here for 1,000 years. Children are born and raised, people still live in isolated small villages. Everyone knows everyone. And even after 10 years of absence, everything seems familiar. But something is slightly off in this Arctic paradise. A warning that profound change is coming, that changes are happening and will influence future generations. People often ask me whether I ever get homesick, if I miss Greenland. And my answer to them is, all the time. Not a day has gone by without me thinking about this place. And that is why I'm so happy that I'm fortunate enough to be able to come back and show my kids their father's hometown and the place where he grew up. The abundance of beauty in the spacious surroundings, mountains, and the deep fjords. This is such a big part of them. These are the places where so many generations before spent their time playing, fishing, making a living in the peaceful atmosphere where weather and climate is king. The Inuit call the spirit of the weather Sila. And here, Sila is something to adore. And something to be respected. Growing up here was a happy time. Family, friends, laughter. I couldn't have had a better upbringing. But being away for a prolonged period makes you see everything in a different perspective. From a distance. You start to notice things. A 1,000 years ago, the Vikings were the first immigrants that settled in southern Greenland, bringing with them their ways of living from Iceland and Scandinavia. All around this Arctic landscape, you can still find remnants, relics, if you will, of their civilization. As the generations passed, the Vikings died out, leaving the green land to the Inuit. Today, the Inuit have adapted to a modern way of living, with help from a new wave of immigrants from Scandinavia. But just like 1,000 years ago, change is happening. In southern Greenland, the average temperature has risen 2 degrees in the last 150 years. And as a result, new species are introduced, glaciers are melting, and the weather patterns are changing. And this, not just on a small scale, but is common all around the Arctic. Local fishermen talk about a great flux in the number of fish and changes in the species of fish that they catch. Tour operators report of melt pools on the ice cap, an ice cap that is not supposed to melt. All around Greenland, glaciers are getting smaller. They're melting. Each year, hundreds of millions of tons of ice melts and vanishes into the ocean. And just like the Vikings in the beginning of last millennia, local farmers are now experiencing great inconsistencies in weather patterns. Several different kinds of crops can today be grown in the low Arctic parts of this great island. Cattle is being raised on what was once barren tundra-covered mountains, and trees grow taller here than ever before. My forefathers have been living here for 1,000 years. And I truly hope that future generations will be able to enjoy the Greenland I know. The warmth of the people, the produce, and the way of living. My fear is that in this fragile environment, change has already begun. You really notice after being away for 10 years. Small things, but on a grand scale. It really seems like the Inuit once again are forced to adapt to new circumstances in an ever-changing world. My only wish is that one day my children will be able to bring their kids to experience the wonders of this Arctic paradise that I and so many generations before me have come to call home.